What is up, YouTubelettes? It is PuddlesA1 here, and I am bringing you the second episode of Season 3 of Farewell Fridays. This is NU Edition against JohnOrigins. I know I skipped UU, but that's honestly because I haven't had a battle with my UU team in quite some time, so, yeah, I apologize. But anyway, I've had this NU battle saved up for the longest time. It was gonna go up on PMP Beta, or PMP Main, but then, that shenanigans happened. So I was like, hey, might as well use it for Farewell Friday. It's against JohnOrigins, and this is actually the first battle that we ever had, and now I'm like obsessed with him. It was kind of like the mystical thing, how that happened. I guess I go through my British phases like all you One Direction people out there. But anyway, we got an NU match. I'm using my team. He's got a pretty balanced looking team, but it looks mostly offensive, if that makes sense. The only defensive thing that I'm seeing is that Probo Pass, and I'm guessing that thing is the thing that has Stealth Rock. Also, no spinner, and that all of his Pokemon touch the ground, which means spikes, hits, everything. So that's about it. Here we go. John's going to be leading off with his Leafeon as I decide to lead it off with my Purugly. I love it with Purugly because it outspeeds his whole team. I can go for U-turn, get some switch initiative, some nice offensive momentum, and that's just what happens. So go for the Choice Banded U-turn on this I was going to say Umbreon, but it's a Leafeon called Nubrion, and then that didn't do nearly as much as I wanted it to, but that's because this is a defensive Leafeon as revealed by the synthesis. So, I decided to go for Spikes here because there's really nothing that a Leafeon can do to my Roselia, and that's why I switched into it. So I get my second layer up here as he goes for the Stealth Rock. I'm not really worried about that because this team doesn't have a spinner because it doesn't really need one. I have the grass, or the poison type to get rid of the toxic spikes, and I don't really care about regular spikes because nobody really has the time to set them up, except for right now because I get all three of my layers up, which is really awesome. And I decided to switch out here, go into my Seadra because that's the only thing I have that can take a hit from the slacking, especially if it's Choice Scarfed. But look at that damage. That is definitely Choice Banded because I didn't even take anything out the turn before. So I know he's going to switch out here, but I figured he'd switch out into Leafeon, so I go for the Ice Beam. But John makes a really good prediction, goes into his Probo Pass, probably predicting me to go for the Ice Beam. So good job you, John. That was awesome. Anyway, I go for the rest here, thinking that I would be slower and that he would go for the Volt Switch, but that's not the case. But I do get the rest off as he goes for the Thunder Wave, and now I know that he has Thunder Wave on his set. I switch out and go into my Roselia, knowing that I can pretty much wall this Probo Pass at the same time as set up in its face and destroy it with Giga Drains and stuff. So go into my Roselia, take the hit, and as he Volt Switches out into his Semi-Seer, I decide to switch out and go into my Arbok, predicting the Hidden Power Grass, predicting my Seadra to come in, but John just goes outright for the Fire Blast and destroys my Arbok. So, the one time I thought I could get my Arbok in to do some work, not the case. So, go out in my Purugly here, I go for the U-turn, predicting the switch out into Probo Pass, but instead he stays in and goes for yet another Fire Blast as I have to fodder something else off. I go into my Musharna because that's the best thing that can take a hit, and lucky for me, he misses the Fire Blast, which is great, because now I'm back to about full HP. I can go for a Heal Bell because I want to wake up my Seadra because that's the only thing that can live hits from the slacking, and I need it to live hits so that I can hit it with something else. And maybe like disable it since I know it's Choice Banded. So he goes for the Fire Blast, and that's going to destroy my Musharna, especially after the Nasty Plot that he got up that I didn't tell you guys about. But he got up the Nasty Plot, and that's going to destroy everything. So I go to my Zangoose, thinking that he's at that range of HP where a Quick Attack will be able to take him out and then activate my Toxic Orb at the end of the turn. And that's exactly what happens, which is really nice because now I can pretty much just destroy everything on his team. And when this thing came out, I was like, there's no way he's Scarfed. And then it turns out he Scarfed, goes for the Psychic. I'm going to live on 9 HP, which is so ridiculously lucky. And I get off a nice hit with that a critical hit, Night Slash. The crit doesn't matter just because Toxic Orb activated, and I'm a Zangoose. It's super effective, and, whatever. But we both have a double down here, and I go out in my Roselia as he goes out into his slacking, and I'm like, no, thank you. So I switch out, and I'm going to go into my Seadra, knowing that I can take a hit. But then I remembered that I just KO'd one of his Pokemon, meaning Retaliate is going to do a heap ton of damage, and look how much this does to my fully defensive Seadra. I live on 26 HP, thank God, because of a Violite, and then I decided to go for the rest here because I know I cannot live another hit, and I don't want to, try and predict something to come in and then have it not come in. But anyway, I go for the rest, get all of my HP back, and then I decide to switch out here and go into my Roselia, because Roselia is like the MVP of this match right now, if you cannot tell, and I'm going to be able to take that Leaf Blade. I think I take 40 damage from it, which really makes me upset because I quad resist that, and it's coming from an uninvested Leafeon, which is like, are you serious? I should have taken like 10 damage, but whatever. Anyway, I go for the Synthesis because I know he's not going to want to stay in here, and I want to get all of my HPs back, which is pretty much what happens here, and now we're going to have a little specially defensive war, but I believe that I will come out on top because I do have the recovery move, but he can also get a special defensive drop with his earth power, so it's kind of a win-lose kind of thing, just depending on whose happens first. So my Giga Drains seem to be doing a decent amount of damage, and he makes kind of a misplay here, goes for the Thunder Wave. What he wanted to do was go for Volt Switch, because then he would have been slower than me, and his Pokemon that came in wouldn't have had to take a hit. And I believe I go for Sludge Bomb here because I know what his game plan is, and he brings in the stupid Slacking, and I get paralyzed. Crap. So now I have to switch out and go into my Seadra because I have to be able to take a hit, and I'm hoping that I can wake up on this next turn, and he hits me with the Giga Impact, and it does a lot of damage to me, and I have to switch out here, go into my Perugly, knowing he has to stay in for at least one turn, just because of that's how Giga Drain, or not Giga Drain, but Giga Impact works. You have to have the recharge turn, you can't switch out. So I go for the return as he stays in, which is kind of weird, but that's also okay, I guess. He goes into his Probo Pass here, because he would have been able to live on 1 HP, because I saw that he had the odd amount of HP EVs, judging by how many times he came into spikes. So I go out into my Seadra as Death Barter to see what move he's going to go for, and he goes for the Volt Switch. I know if I can get him to go for Volt Switch again, I can take him down low enough with my Giga Drain that when he comes back in, he'll just die to entry hazards, because this thing was the only thing stopping my Perugly from doing a lot of damage, and now he has to go into this freaking Floatzel that I completely forgot about, and he's going to go for the Ice Punch. And I'm like, great, now my Roselia dies. Except not at all. I live, get off a Giga Drain. I'm going to be able to take out that Floatzel and get all the way back up to half HP. Can you guys believe that? I'm pretty sure that he's Expert Belt, because Choice Band would have definitely taken me out. He goes back into his Probo Pass here, and that thing's going to die, like I said, to the entry hazards. And now he goes into his Leafeon. I'm going to go for the Sludge Bomb. I outspeed, which is really, really weird. And on top of that, I take it out. And Roselia with the clutch at the end. Oh my goodness. GG JohnOrigins. If you guys could even believe why I saved that, if you guys couldn't believe why I saved that, this should be the proof. That was such a good game. Oh my god. Whew, alright, let's calm down a bit. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to check out John's channel, you can go ahead and click from the Leafeon all the way to the Gardevoir. I just remembered that the battle that was up, the Transition Tuesday battle, was also against John. So this is like John's week. Okay, that's weird. If John wants to have a week, he just got one. So, anyway, to finish out my outro, if you want to click my Roselia to see my last video, go ahead and click my Perugly to see my next video when I upload it. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Tumblr, add me on Skype. PuddlesA1 is named throughout all that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're liking this series. I hope you're liking Transition Tuesdays. Also, if you guys want to see the Farewell Friday series from start to finish, go ahead and click A1's videos. They'll take you to the playlist, and you can go ahead and watch everything from all the seasons that you might have missed. So, with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Peace, love, and later, Gators.